Welcome. We are here with Francisco from Norfin. Francisco, if you want to talk a little bit more about the company, you as one of the directors.
So Norfin is an asset manager, 26-year-old. So we have been in the market for quite a bit. So we are a regulated fund manager in Portugal. So we manage closed-ended funds and SIC companies, and we also have a non-regulated business. So we asset manage assets across the whole spectrum of asset classes, is from residential to logistics to offices to residential. And we do it under a yielding perspective or under a development perspective. So we are currently developing two office buildings in Lisbon. We have over 20 different projects under development now on the residential and in the hospitality sector. We are owned by the Aero Global Group, which has a big operation in Portugal with 5 different companies. White Star manages the NPL sector. We manage real estate. Details manages the hospitality and leisure sports side of the business. And Restart manages the private equity business. So we have a lot of different companies in country, and we kind of manage those sectors integrated so that we can service our clients better. So we currently manage 2.3 billion euros of real estate property, half of which is by our shareholder, Aero, and the other by third-party clients, across a wide spectrum of products, from north to south in Portugal, very diversified in multiple ways.
That's great. We were talking before about the asset classes that you are in. Today, what do you think is the most challenging asset to be in Portugal, and about the new trends that you are looking for? What is the future for?
So we like very much, we like all asset classes in general. We think there's opportunities in all of them. Most of the asset classes have very good fundamentals, very solid fundamentals in Portugal. So, I mean, for different reasons. In these last few years, we've been very focused on what we call the triangle between residential, hospitality, and leisure/sports. So we've been investing a lot through our clients' money in resorts operations, in which we like the way we can integrate these 3 pillars into a client experience, which starts as being a user experience, and then through services quality, proper amenities, and proper product definition, we bring them to be investors and even people living within our destinations. So we like scalable destinations which have these 3 pillars, which we find to be a very accretive place to be in. But we also like logistics. We also are doing a few things on the office space. We're developing 2 buildings in Lisbon as we speak, completing construction with one of them with a very high occupancy rates already. Different sectors with different perspectives for different clients, from the core investors to the opportunistic ones. We have always used a phrase which we like, which is, in Portugal the market is not that deep, so we have to go wide to have some scale, and we think scale enables us to have more opportunities, enables us to have to be more skillful to properly manage our clients' assets.
Great. And about the alternative assets, we were speaking before about PBSA or maybe the flex living. How you guys are looking to these new trends?
So we are now starting to tap into the PBSA space. We're actually looking into a couple of opportunities to invest. We don't have the in-depth knowledge of that space, and we are aware of that. So we'll have to link with partners which know, especially the operations side. We do own within the group an operation company which handles hospitality, and also a lot of branded residence, etc. But we do think that PBSA has an expertise of its own, and we don't have it. So we'll tap into that by partnerships with players which are on the market. But as an investor, we do have the development skills, the mindsets, and the relationships in the municipalities, which will enable us to, we believe, to deliver a good return within that space. So it's not a new sector in Portugal, but it's a growing sector in Portugal, and one that I think in a couple of years we will dominate in terms of mindset and skills. Yeah.
And about flex living and PBSA, where do you think are the main opportunities right now? Only on Porto, Lisboa, or other regions? How you
Well,
guys?
the obvious answers is always Porto and Lisbon, right? Portugal has a lot of concentration in the two major cities. We do think that there are other locations like Aveiro, Braga, which are university cities, which can have potential for PBSA. On the flex living spaces, I think, we see accommodation needs especially for professionals across the country, from the Algarve to the north of Portugal, especially in the Algarve where we have a lot of activity. We find it very hard to find proper lodging capability for our workers, and that's been one of the main difficulties in sourcing labor. Not sourcing itself, but finding the right conditions for people to live in. So we think there's a huge gap there. The market has been very focused in doing what is tested, which is build to sell, which is a sector we are very much involved in also. But looking ahead for the next 20 years, for sure, there is room to create a flex living offer in Portugal. And we do have a history of making new things. We like it. So we are looking into that also. But the financial equation of building to sell is very compelling at
Yeah.
this point.
Agree. And about the operation side, I know that you have a company that the operation side for you for Norfin.
Yeah.
But how it works? What is the main challenge for it? To have it inside also your own operation? How it works?
So we have Details is our hospitality operation arm. They are more focused on hotels, but moving into the this space between pure hospitality and pure residential, which is blending more and more, and there's a lot of different segments coming into there. So we are doing a lot of branded apartments. We're launching actually today a new project in Erweira, which will be branded by Missoni, so an Italian fashion brand, which will be managed by Details, by our own managing company. We do have some products in which the brand that we find to be the perfect match for that specific product does not allow us first to manage. They manage themselves. For instance, we're bringing JW Marriott to the Algarve for a hotel, significant size hotel, 260 rooms. And it will have an associated offering of branded apartments. Those will be managed by JW Marriott, of course, but we will be more and more involved in this sector. We think that, again, going back to the triangle between hospitality, residential, and leisure, we do like to control this perimeter. And we do think that by offering the best experience and service to the client, they will become investors, and they will become not only our tenants, but our investors, owners of property within our resorts and within our locations.
That's great. For the ones who are coming to Portugal, international investors or guys who are looking to come to the country, what advice you should give looking into the market, the profile?
Yeah, I think we've had a history. Norfin has had a history, and I'm new to the company. I've been here for the last 5 years, but the company has a long history of dealing with different types of investors. From the family offices to the core investors to the private equity ones. I think the Portuguese market has a couple of idiosyncrasies. Data is not very easy to access in some cases, and the quality of the data that exists sometimes leaves a little bit desired. So there's always a need to challenge and to integrate the published data that you see with local knowledge. Especially on the development space. I mean, development is local anywhere in the world, right? There's nothing more local than building. It entails knowledge of the sector of construction, knowledge of all the stakeholders, the municipalities, the specific agencies that interact with the territory. And I think over the years, we've been helping a lot of international investors understand in depth the markets and get ultimately getting good returns for their investments. I think the fundamentals in Portugal for the residential sector are as sound as they can be. There's some concerns about the level of inflation in construction. There are some concerns about the availability of labor within the country. But what we find is that those are not very different from other geographies. The imbalance of the market in Portugal is very big in terms of offering and demand. And there's a capability to scale up the projects that have been developed in the past. It takes skill, knowledge, which I think we can provide. And I mean, we're working with different investors on these sectors as we speak.
Great to hear. Last question. I'd like to ask you. You are being in GRI, I think, for the last 4 years at least.
5 years.
What do you think about GRI, the format? How do you feel inside here?
Yeah, I think I like it, the casual aspect of it, so to speak. I like the fact that we can interrupt people. I always interrupt people, so I guess that fits the way I think and I try to interact. I think it's an interesting group of sharing experiences. There's a lot of knowledge within the members. And I think there is a space in which people can, without trying to oversell their own experiences or companies, in which people share, long-time trends, and you always learn something new. You always you always get ideas that kind of stimulate. Then you go back to the company and discuss them, and I think it's interesting to that in that view.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.